Good afternoon. My name is Jordan, and I am here today at Possum Creek Metro Park to talk to you about life jackets, the importance of wearing one, and all the different styles. So I am an employee here at Five Rivers Metro Park on the outdoor recreation team, and we are happy to be out here today doing our virtual programming presented by Subaru of America. So without any further ado, we're going to dive into the life jackets. So when you think about going out in the water, some of the most important things is wearing your life jacket. You think about getting on the water. When do you want to put that life jacket on? We actually say it's important to put it on when you're 10 feet away from the water and you're headed towards it, because once you get out there, if you have it just strapped on top of your boat, you're probably going to forget about it, be like, it's hot, I don't feel like putting it on. Then you get out there and paddle and you flip. And then you got to try and figure out where the heck it is and then try and get it on. And you think about it, that's not really working that well. It's kind of like when you're out and you're in a car and you're driving along. Do you put your seatbelt on when you're in the middle of a wreck? No, you put it on before you have a wreck. So that way you go ahead and put that on ahead of time. So I always have to say, wear your life jacket whenever you head out, not just when you think it could get bad. Wear it at all times. So looking at these life jackets here, there's a whole variety of different ones. So we'll talk about different sizes first and the importance of fit. So there are life jackets for everyone, literally. Starting at the smallest right here. This is an infant one, so this can go for under 30 pounds. It's really great because it zips up the front and has a clip. And then it also has a clip that goes between the legs as well, so that they can't slip out of it. It actually holds them in there. And it has a nice little pad in the back too that provides a little extra flotation near the head and keeps that head up out of the water. Next is a child. So this one goes to 30 to 50 pounds. Has all the same features. That zipper in the front, a clip there, and then also a strap that goes between the legs. So as we said, it's important to make sure these life jackets fit when you put them on. Give it a pull and make sure it's not going anywhere and it's really snug on the child. Next, once they get a little bit bigger and grow out of that 50-pound range, they have this 50 to 90 right here. So this one right here is going to be really great for your smaller kid that's out there, but not quite an adult yet, in between. So the child youth jacket is going to be great, this youth one here. Then once you get a little bit bigger and get above 90 pounds, then you can get into an adult life jacket. We've got right here, this is actually a really sweet one. It's really big and small at the same time. So it goes from an extra small to a medium. So I mean, this can go all the way from a 30-inch chest to a 42. So this right here could almost fit me, which is kind of crazy, but it can also fit a pretty small kid that's right at 90 pounds. So it's really crazy how they've made all these straps very adjustable, and it's pretty awesome how they're all fitting there. So this is a good one to have that's pretty universal, but again, if you're bigger than 42 inches in the chest, you want to have something a little bit bigger. So from that one, then we go up to the small medium. So this one right here is the small medium. It's going to fit a little bit bigger. And then you're going to go to the large, extra large. And then from there, you even have all the way up to the double XL. So if I were to try this one right here on, this would be the large, extra large. This is the one that would fit me, just based on doing a little reading on here. And you can see right here, it's got 42 inches to 52. So I'm about a 44. So I know that right there is going to be right in the range that's going to fit me the best. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on. I'm going to put one arm through, put the other arm through. Next, it's got a few different things on it, but I'm going to go ahead and do the zipper first, right here. So I zip it, and then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to reach underneath, and this clip right here can get a little hidden, but you want to go ahead and clip that right there. And then I'm going to snug it up. So I'll pull on these right here, pull on those right there, pull on this one, and pull on that. And it's important to pull on those, because if I don't pull on those, and I'm wearing this, I'm like, you know what, that feels pretty good. I got a nice breathing room, got some area to move around and everything. But if I were popping that water, and that water hits this bottom, and it's not actually tightened up, it's going to go up. And it can go up. It can go enough. It can go all the way up off my head. So this life jacket, it was on me, but it wasn't really doing anything when I fell in that water. So it's actually important to clip it and snug it up. So let's try it again and see what happens when we actually snug it up. So I zipped it. I found that clip underneath. Clip that. Then I'm actually just going to pull on these this time. Really snug it up on each side. I'll do the higher one there. Do another one here. But that one there is pretty loose. Alright, so I got both of those. Then my shoulders, it's actually pretty good, but I can get a little snugger right there. And get that down. That way it's not riding up and hitting me in the chin or anything. So this time, when I fall in that water and go like this right here, it's not going anywhere because it's snug. It's actually this bottom right here, this clip is actually catching right on my ribs right there. So that's what's actually going to hold it in place. It's not necessarily the tightness in the chest as much. It's more underneath is when I catch you. So you can have a little bit of breathing room right there. It's not like it's going to be super tight. You just got to have it tight underneath so it catches there. But you still want it pretty tight though, but not so tight you can't breathe. All right. So hopefully, if you got any questions on those or anything, feel free to ask in the comments and we'll get back to you with any answers, or I can answer them live here right now. So that covers the range of sizes on life jackets and the fit. So going into the different types, there are 5 basic types of life jackets, type 1 through 5. So type 1 is going to be an offshore life jacket. So this is what would be on like a cruise ship, or if you're out in like a chartered fishing boat or anything like that too, you might have one of these big ones for when you're really offshore. So these are nice because they actually have a ton of buoyancy in them. So if I have this thing right here on, I'm actually going to have a clip that goes around me. It's going to clip, and it actually has a chin strap as well to keep it from coming off. So I tighten those up, then have that all tightened down. It's got some reflective things on here, even got a little thing for a flashlight and some other stuff on there. Got a little cord right here that actually, if you're with a group, you can actually get connected to the next person, so you all stay together. You don't have to like hug or anything like that too. You can actually stay together a lot better. This has a little bit extra. You can see it's pretty thick right there, so it's actually going to provide a lot more buoyancy, and it actually does a little bit of having this extra right here. It will actually right most people. So if you do fall over and you're unconscious in the water, chances are it's going to right you in that water and get your face up so that you're still breathing if you are unconscious. This is important if you're in the water. So, again, this is a type 1, an offshore life jacket. You can see it's got that reflective too, which is nice too. So if somebody's shining a light trying to find you when you're out there, if your boat did capsize, they're able to find you with that reflectiveness on there.
In what situations are you using that one?
That is more if you're offshore, far out, or anything like that, and you're going to be prolonged to be found or anything like that. Mostly on like a cruise ship or a big boat or anything like that too. They have those available for everybody on the boat.
All right.
The next one is a type 2. This is a horse collar style like this right here. You see that? So most familiar with, you'd see these at a livery or anything like that too. So this is where most people use them at one of those. So again, it goes over your shoulders. It's going to have a clip around the waist. Ooh, this one's pretty tight. And then a tie on again right here. So this is about the same style, but it's a little bit thinner. Doesn't quite have as much padding, and chances are if I do fall out and I'm unconscious, it's not going to right me back over as well. So this right here is just a handy one to have, but it's definitely not as good for when you're far out, and it can be pretty uncomfortable when you're paddling. I mean, who hasn't put one of these on when you're canoeing? Next thing you know, your arm's hitting it, and your other arm's hitting it. You're like, man, this thing's annoying. So then people are less likely to wear them. So it's really important to get one that fits and fits you well and is comfortable for what activity you're using. So this right here is not as recommended, but it's fairly cheap. So that's why a lot of liveries use them, because it's the cheapest one they can get. They're not going to invest more in a higher end one or anything like that too. So if you are going out and you're like, hey, I really like this right here, but I don't like using these, it's not that bad to go and buy your own Type 3 life jacket, which I would recommend. So we're going to dive into those next. So that was pretty much covered the styles that we talked about earlier. So this right here is a Type 3 here. And you can actually tell what type it is most times by just looking right inside. It's got this Coast Guard tag in there. So this right here is a Type 3 right there. It's got all kinds of information on there. And one of the important things is to check when you're looking at it and make sure it's Coast Guard approved. So you can check in there, and it's got a little thing right there, and it's got the Coast Guard approved right on there. So checking and making sure your life jacket is approved is really good to do, and make sure you have one that's good.
And you know what? We had a question come in
Yeah.
that feels like maybe this is a good time as you're looking at those labels. Do life jackets ever go bad? Do they get too old?
They do go bad. So some things to check out is to check wear on the life jacket and see if there's tears, if there's all kinds of just like, it's really, really dirty and stuff like inside of it, and you can tell this is nasty. Another good thing to look at is check that label and see if it's worn. If that label is really worn out, then chances are it needs replaced. Like you can actually see on this Type 2 here, when I turn this over, you can barely see that label there. So this one right here is pretty worn, and it's old, and you can tell it's pretty squishy and feels really weird. So there's some problems with the buoyancy of this one right here and the insulation inside there. So I would definitely replace that one if I was going to go out and use a life jacket.
And we keep that just to show it as an example, correct?
Yep, that's a retired one that we have for an example. And no, not to use that one. It's going out. It's not used for any programming or any people on the water.
Just for education purposes.
So this one right here is actually really nice for paddling because, as I showed earlier, it fits really great, and it actually cuts way down a little bit lower right there. So when I paddle, I have that whole motion like this. I have a lot more freedom in this area, and it feels really good. And it's actually cut up a little bit higher in the back, so that back area is actually going to be open to being hit the seat and not have any bit of, well, just the top clip in it or anything like that too. So that's really annoying if you're wearing like a jet ski one that comes down really low. You don't have that full protection, and it's just hitting there. So it's not really worth having that full protection because you're not taking any impacts in this life jacket or anything like that too. You're sitting in your boat, so normally you'd be in like a kayak or a canoe or a stand-up paddleboard with a life jacket like this. So to talk about a jet ski one, that is actually a Type 3 as well, which we actually got one right here. So you can see it has a lot more pads and a lot more buckles on there, but no zipper. So you're going to get this one here actually really snug when you put it on. And then you can tell that back is actually a lot lower than it would be on like this one right here. It goes a couple inches lower right there. So it actually provides a little more protection in the back and some more coverage. So if you are in a jet ski or anything like that too, this would be the type of life jacket you would have on. And again, this is a Type 3 life jacket, so it's the same type but just a little bit different in style.
So within the types, there's different styles and cuts depending on your activity.
Yep.
And you could cross them, you could cross over, correct, but if you're looking for comfort and, you know, ability to move around freely, it's good to think about your application.
Yeah. Another type moving on up would be the Type 4. So this one right here is actually a throwable one. So you think about, you see that thing at the pool, they have that ring that's sitting there? That's actually a Type 4 life jacket. Or on some big boats, they have that right there just on the side that you can grab really quick and throw it to somebody. But another style of Type 4 is actually like this big old pad here that has these arm loops that if you did get thrown out this right here, you can put those on and float right on top of that then. So you keep yourself up out of the water with this right here. You actually don't want to like put this on and wear it on your back, because then you think about this right here, it's going to push your head down if this right here wants to be in the water, because it's going to try and rotate you around. So this one right here is not going to be wearing the back, but more put your arms through and be laying on top of. Also thinking about this right here, if you look at it and it's sitting in your boat and it's just sitting there, what are people going to do with this? They're probably going to think, oh hey, this is a great seat. So they're going to sit on it, but every time you sit on this right here, my butt gets pushing every time down and down and down, and wearing it around and everything. So I'm breaking that down every time I sit on it and just causing that foam to degrade away and degrade away. So I'm actually cutting the life of this right here down drastically. So it's not really a good thing to sit on, and you want to have it close by when you're in that boat, but not necessarily sitting on it. Thinking about close by too, Type 4s are only effective if you can find them and you know where they are in that boat. So let's say you're in some kind of boat and you have cabins and seats and everything up there, and you have it tucked under some seat and somewhere around there, and you're like, I know it's somewhere, but I don't know exactly where it is. It's not really doing you a lot of good. So knowing where it's at and having it easily accessible is a really good thing if you're going to have a Type 4 available on that boat.
Because your drowning friend may not wait for you to find it.
For sure. So the next kind is a Type 5. That's more of a specialty life jacket. So here's one right here that we use a lot at MetroParks in terms of our instructors. So this one right here has a few more bells and whistles that make it the Type 5. So it's actually called a rescue vest. So it goes over the head and then zips up on the side, or clips on the side. So this is actually nice because it's got different colors that match up, so I know which ones I'm going with different things. And then what makes this specialty is it has a little tab on here that goes through, and a belt that provides you with some extra features when you're out there. So that belt then attaches to a tab here, and you can use that for all kinds of different uses. And again, this is a specialty one that we only recommend that you use if you've gone through some swiftwater rescue training and have those different training styles, because then you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it and everything, you can just take this right here right off and not use this pigtail, which is only used if you have the specialty training. But if you do have it, it's really great when you're out there to be able to do different things and have different features and rescues or anything. Some other things that I talk about is really cool on some specialty life jackets. They have different pockets and things on there. So this one's got a big old pocket in here that I can keep my granola bars or different things like my cell phone or a whistle or a knife if I need to cut anything. So there's all kinds of different features on there. They got these little tabs that you can put stuff on. They got some sweet pockets right here actually. So this pocket goes all the way through, so I can just stuff something in there if I need to.
And is that fleece to keep your hands warm?
It is
in there?
fleece, yeah. So if you're cold, you can
Nice.
just tuck them in there as you're standing around waiting or anything. It's got some other little Velcro pockets that go into and accessible from either side. So this area here, it is a little more bulky, but if you think about it, as you're paddling, you're not going to be hitting this area right here. So having a little more bulk and putting some stuff in there is actually not a bad spot to have it, because then it's accessible when you're in your boat and it's not tucked in some hatch or anywhere around there. So having some pockets with some stuff in them is actually a great idea. Or even like today, might want a little extra sunscreen, because I mean, even though it's November, the sun's out and it is insanely warm and pretty awesome. So putting some sunscreen on or some chapstick is always a good thing when you're out there. So that's the Type 5 right here. So we actually have another type of Type 5 as well. So this one's a little more universal. It's a little bit bigger. It's not necessarily paddling specific, because as you can tell, looking at this one to this one here has a lot smaller chest area and back when you put this one right here on, but it has a lot of the same features. So this right here is used by a lot of firefighters and rescue personnel when they're out there, because it's pretty big, it's got the reflective stuff on there, and has pockets for all their accessories and things like that when they're out there. So this is another rescue one that's used by them. Talking about life jackets when you're going out, one thing that is actually good to have on your life jacket in a pocket or strapped right on it is going to be a whistle. So we have these Fox 40 whistles right here. This is actually just a hair tie that's on there. So if it were to get caught in anything, I could break that hair tie and pull it right off of there. So having any little thing, or cut it off if we need to. But it's right there that you can just have it right at the second's notice and be able to blow the whistle if you're in trouble, or if somebody else is in trouble and you want to get their attention. So it's always good to have a whistle or some kind of signaling device when you're out there, and have it easily accessible, because if it's buried in this pocket and I go to need it and I'm pulling out my granola bars, my everything, looking for that, my cell phone, tossing stuff aside, and I can't find it, something could have happened. I can just easily have it right there, accessible. Is really good to have.
And remind us, Jordan, if we do need to use our whistle for an emergency,
Yes.
do we just like play a tune on it, or?
So there's different increments of blast that you can use. One, you're just trying to get somebody's attention or anything like that too, so you can just tell and like they might hear it and point to you. And then there's different increments you can use based on what you're using it for. So
Okay.
just one blast is really going to be something to get your attention or whatever else, and then 3 or more is probably you're in trouble. So
All right.
using that right there, if you hear a bunch of blasts, you definitely know something's going on. You want to check out what's going on up there when you see those. So another type that has become fairly popular in the world of stand-up paddleboarding, and actually with some fishermen, is the inflatable life jackets. So for stand-up paddleboarding, these right here are worn around the waist. So you got it on there. Woo! Buckle was snug down. So I got it on there, and you can have it wherever, but you want to have it someplace where you can actually pull this right here. So when I pull this cord, it's going to inflate it. So there are actually different styles that you can have. So instead of just having this pull cord, you can actually have some that they have a device in there that when the jacket is submerged, it's going to automatically inflate. So it's actually really neat that they have those. Some have things that dissolve, some have things that when it's in water and it feels that pressure, then it's going to hit the thing and it's going to actually release that CO2 and inflate. So when that inflates and goes and whatever else, then it's going to look just like this right here. So then it's hanging around your waist. And then you can take that part that's hanging on your waist, you can throw it up over your head, and it might inflate a whole lot, and I can't get my head in there right now. So I can actually take this little area right here. It's a straw that if it doesn't inflate as well, you can actually manually inflate it with that straw. So I'm actually let a little bit out so I can get my head in there. Alright, so once it's in there, then it's actually already attached to me. I might need to actually tighten it just a little bit to get that all the way attached so that it stays up.
And then you could add more air once it's over your head too.
Yeah, then you could add a little more and adjust it when you're out there. So these right here are really great for that. Woo! So, when you think about these right here, now that I've used this one, this canister right here is no longer good. So it's actually not going to inflate. So I'd actually go ahead and take it out and replace it. So as you can see, once you've used these canisters, it actually punctures a hole in there right there, so it inflates it. And actually, if it has a collar on there, it's going to break that collar off so that you can't just like put any old one on there. It has to be one that has that collar. You can't just have one that screws in there. It actually fits in there, very specific, and goes in there. So just buying any old paintball CO2 canister or anything like that is actually not going to work. It has to be a larger one that's going to inflate that life jacket all the way up. So it's actually a specialty one that works in these. So getting those is actually important. Then thinking about maintenance on these, because if I just go, and every time I go, I just go home, toss on the shelf, and forget about it till next time I go out, you never know what could happen. So actually, whenever you're done with this right here, especially when you've released one of these right here and used it, you actually want to check it out, make sure it fully dries, then deflate it, roll it back up, replace this one in there, and then every time I go out, I like checking my gear and making sure it works. So I'm going to maybe manually inflate it once every 2 months and make sure it has no punctures, because if I blow this up and then let it set overnight, and I come back the next day and it's inflated, I know there's no holes. If I come back the next day and it's deflated, something happened and this is actually not working out. Not going to be the best thing when I'm out there. So checking those out in between uses is always important too. That way you know if your life jackets are working and everything's in good working order. So speaking of care of life jackets, not only do you get the care for these, but for every life jacket as well. So even with this life jacket right here, I can tell this one right here has got a little bit of mud on it and everything. So this one right here might not have got cleaned that well the last time it got used. So I'm going to actually clean this right here off really well and then dry it out before I put it away. That way I know it's not getting any dirt in there, rubbed in and broken down, and really getting any wear that it doesn't need to have. So it's okay to get your stuff dirty, but just keep it clean then afterwards. And really make sure you dry it out the whole way before you just chuck it on the shelf or tuck it up somewhere in your garage and forget about it.
Put it in a Rubbermaid tub
Yeah,
or
put
something.
it in a tub especially too. You want to make sure all your gear is dry before you put it away for the season, or even in between trips too. So really taking care of the gear and washing it. And you can just use just water on there or any very mild detergent to get any dirt up there if it's not coming off right away. We like this stuff called Sink to Sink, which actually takes some of the smell out of things too, because if you're like me, your shoes and everything might get pretty nasty and you're like, oh, that's that river funk for sure. But actually that stuff works really well and taking some of the stink out of things like that too. So using some product on there lightly and then rinsing it off there is actually a really good thing to use as well.
And then getting the dirt off, that's important because it's abrasive? Is that
It can be abrasive, so it could rub against things, and it can just, if it's dirty, then it's just like getting in there and grinding in there, and it can cause premature wear on some things too, especially if it gets caught in your zippers and anything too.
Oh yeah.
Grinds into it. So just taking care of them and doing inspections and making sure everything's in good working order. Number one thing is just wearing it whenever you go out. You can actually always tell who new people are in the paddling world because they have their life jacket off and it's tucked away just like in the straps on top of their kayak as they're going down. It's just kind of sitting there. But experienced paddlers are wearing it because they've heard the stories. They've had friends that don't wear them or anything like that too. So it's definitely really important to wear your life jacket when you're out there because it's cool to wear. Trust me on that. All right, if there's no further questions, I think we'll go ahead and end it today, but feel free to ask any more questions you want and we'll get back to you in the comments. And tune in next week for another fun program sponsored by Subaru.